Well, we're at a time in history where there is a mass migration from Islamic lands to the Kafir lands of Europe and America. What is this going to happen? What does this mean? Well, what will happen is that there will be a struggle over centuries, but the Islamification of Europe and America must proceed forward if Islam is to fulfill its mission. Because you see, we have here really two different civilizations. We can see this difference in civilizations by the very concept of the Kafir. The Kafir is totally outside of Islam. They're the unbeliever, the infidel, and everything about the Kafir is bad. Let's look at the ethics of dealing with the Kafir. In Quran 48:29, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, and those who are with him are hard against the Kafir and merciful amongst themselves. This is the principle of al-wala wal-bara, which is, according to some Muslim theologians, the second most important teaching of Islam. What this means is that Muslims are to love what Allah loves, which is Islam and Muslims, and they are to hate and despise that which Allah hates and despises, which are Kafirs. So what we have here is a dualistic ethical system in which Muslims are to be treated one way and Kafirs another way. So with this difference of ethical nature, we're going to have a separation of civilizations. Sharia is the supreme code of politics in Islam. In America, we have a constitution, but our constitution and law system is called Jahiliya, which is ignorance, which means it's not Muslim, it's not Islam, it's not Allah, so therefore it must be destroyed and taken down. Now, this does not happen overnight. This is a gradual process. The Sharia does not accommodate the Kafir other than to subjugate the Kafir. In the Sharia, we're less than Muslims. The Kafir is to be a dhimmi, D-H-I-M-M-I, and they're really a third-class citizen. So what happens when one civilization invades another, and the Islamic civilization is a supremacist civilization, so that means that the lands they immigrate to must become Islamicized. And we're already beginning to see that. In Europe, we're seeing that refugees who have health problems demand that the Sharia be obeyed and that a woman not be seen or touched by a male physician, and vice versa. That is, a man cannot be dealt with by a female nurse. This is a process of the Sharia. This is a process of subjugating. This is a process of one civilization struggling against another in order to prevail. Again, let's go back to the fact that this doesn't have to happen overnight. Islam crushed the Anatolia, which was what we now call Turkey, in the year 1453. But it took centuries for all of the Sharia to dominate all of Turkey. It took centuries. So it's a slow process, but it's a process that always works. Remember, the Middle East used to be Christian. What happened? Well, the Sharia became implemented. The Christians became dhimmis, which means that gradually they're eliminated over a period of centuries. Now you may say, oh, this is ridiculous. I know some nice Muslims at work and they're not trying to change anything. They're just trying to get on with their lives. Remember, all it takes is a few to be leaders. That does not mean that the mass of every Muslim that you meet in America is all about Sharia. They may not even really know what Sharia is, but their imam does, and their leaders in the Muslim Brotherhood know. And they're the point people. They're the ones who really drive the dialogue that occurs in the media and influencing politics. So what happens after Islam migrates to another nation? Simple. That nation begins to receive the benefit of being attacked through a long, slow, corrosive process of the Sharia. Over time, the Kafir nation falls. That's what history teaches. North Africa, remember. Egypt, remember. They were all Christian, but no more. There's a few Christians left, but those will be eliminated over time too. So we have a clash of civilizations. The problem is that Islam wants to win and that we just want to tie. You know how that works out on the sports field? Yes, you do. And that's what will happen to us until we decide that we want to prevail and that we want to win, because otherwise we will be crushed and become dhimmis. That's the way Islam works. Look at its history for 1400 years. Thank you.